Chuffing Nora, it's time for another monthly catch-up. Yeah, I can pretty safely say that it's alright for me to do a catch-up for the month of May now, because I don't think I'm going to be getting anything for the rest of the month. So, here we go, having a bit of a backtrack. It's time to go back to the days where there were all those lovely bargains in Asda, and we start off with a couple of Legion Beast Hunters figures. Yeah. Looks like these might actually be the very last Cyberverse figures I pick up, and I'm happy with that. We've got the Bumblebee and we've got Ripper Snapper, and they were both £2 each, and I just thought, well, for that price, when that's literally all the stuff that is on shelves that I don't own, I might as well just go for it, considering that £4 is less than the price that one of these should be anyway. So yeah, I've got a Ripper Snapper. He was sort of the one that I sort of picked up first, because I thought, for £2, and considering that Cyberverse is ending, I might as well just go and properly complete my Abominus and stop using Cindersaur as a leg and have the proper team of 5 of them as they should be, blah blah blah. Yeah, for all these reasons I sort of justified this purchase, when really I'm not that chuffed with him. Yeah, maybe in the future I would have regretted not picking up a Ripper Snapper to properly complete my Abominus team, but he's so similar to Cindersaur. It's just like, oh, I just feel like I bought the same figure again. I mean, he's a tiny bit better because he's got nice metallic blue paint and he's a bit more solid. But it's still the same sort of colour layout, just with different colours. It's still like a grey monster with a colour running down the top of it, and these yellow bits are in exactly the same place. And it's, yeah, the same layout for all the colours, it's just that they're blue instead of purple, and that just feels a bit rubbish, but only paid £2, whatever. So that brings me to saying that a Bumblebee, a bloody Legion Bumblebee that I have coming out of my ears, actually proved to be the figure that was worth having out of those two. I really like this, I really do. This little figure totally redeems the utterly dull and boring Prime Cyberverse Bumblebee that I really wish I hadn't bought. And yes, it's just nice. Improvement in every way, I would say. It probably helps that I've been delving back into my Dark of the Moon Cyberverse figures for a little bit of movie enjoyment, and I particularly like the Dark of the Moon Cyberverse Bumblebee, and this has a little bit of that sheen to it. It's nice because, number one, it's made out of inherently metallic yellow plastic. Looks shiny, that's cool. Number two, they've actually sort of remoulded everything, I think, apart from his wheels. Everything's different. All of his chest and his head and his arms, his legs, it's all different. It all looks better. Makes him look a bit more beefy, makes him look a bit more hardcore, like he probably should, sporting this Beast Hunter's get-up with the shoulder guns and all the spikes and just more Mad Maxitude. He's got properly done feet. They actually look like feet, not just flat panels that would make the bottom of the car. Yeah, I like this a hell of a lot more than the normal Bumblebee. Of course, it doesn't improve on the articulation. His arms are okay, but his legs are still pretty cack because they're just long, and he needs some knees, and you can't move them backwards because then they just become bits of car again. And but yeah, for £2, I certainly do like this little Bumblebee, and if you can still find one out there for that sort of similar price, and you just want a nice little insanely decked out like this pocket car, then go for it. I'd recommend him. Moving on to more bargain-esque type things, I've got another Construct bot. It's Einheit, and here's where I say it's a little bit disappointing that I didn't get this from Asda for £1.88, because all my Asda have are the Wave 3 ones I've got all of now, and you can sort of see down there there's a little arrangement of Construct bot boxes, and yes. Einheit came from eBay because, well, I wanted an Einheit, and he was still cheap, although I did get into a little bit of a bidding war, and he did cost me a bit more than I wanted him to, but it was still a hell of a lot less than he probably should have been, or would have been, because actually I haven't bought any of these Construct bots for their RRP. They have all been reduced at some time or another and have allowed me to enjoy them for less than they're meant to be, so that's good. I'm happy. Einheit's good, he's solid, he's Einheit. I don't really have, apart from the Universe one, which is quite questionable in its goodness. I don't have a proper red Einheit. This sort of fills that gap. But he still feels like he's sort of carrying off a few design elements that the Universe one might have instigated. He's made of this sort of slightly weak red plastic. You compare it to like Cliff Jumper, it's not as vibrant, it's a little bit washed out. I think it actually exactly matches the tone that Universe Einheit was made out of. And then his gun sort of looks a little bit like Universe Einheit thingamabob. And then the face sculpt is, I don't know, I want to say it's ever so slightly like it because it's got these weird grills on the side of his head. Was that on that one? I can't remember. I don't know. It feels a bit like a construct bot of Universe Einheit. Oh yeah, his feet as well. They're sort of the same shape. And that feels a little bit bad. But it's actually a decently posable figure of Einheit, and I'm happy for that. Oh, and before I forget, yeah, I've become a construct bot G1er. I've looked at the reviews of the Age of Extinction stuff, and of course, by extension, or by backwards extrusion, that's what the Beast Hunters construct bots would have been like, because they use that sort of same new system. I don't really like them as much. Nah. The skeletons are improved, yeah, the posability is improved, yeah, they don't use quite so many pieces, so the builds are a little bit easier, and I don't know, I just don't like the fact it's all C-clip stuff. I liked these because the whole 5mm compatibility, the fact that you could swap bits around with regular transformers and it just made them feel a bit less like some sort of weird peripheral attempt at a construction toy and more like just a normal transformer that you happen to be able to take apart. And I can see that I'm not going to feel that way about the Age of Extinction ones because they are totally removing themselves from every form of compatibility with regular transformers, or even almost these construct bots that I'm just sort of thinking, oh, they're nice, but I'm not going to have as much fun with them. Don't know, I guess we'll see once I actually get one of them. But anyway, on to actual Age of Extinction stuff. Oh yes, you probably seen my review of this Grimlock. Yeah, I don't need to say anything, do I? Really, I honestly don't. Apart from the fact that, yeah, I was totally going to get Drift as my first one-step changer. That was the only one-step changer I wanted because of that whole flickety-flick butterfly knife effect. So why did I buy Grimlock? I'm still not quite sure. When I finally saw some Age of Extinction stuff in Smides and it was all there in a big swath of plasticky crap, for some reason I just looked at Grimlock and thought, he looks okay. As a sort of first outing into Age of Extinction, I sort of thought that I should get one of the more iconic characters. I should get one of the more, I don't know, memorable Age of Extinction specific designs maybe? I don't know. I wanted to be able to get a little Cyberverse Grimlock, and this sort of takes that place, and he's a little desk toy Grimlock, and it just felt like something removed enough from other stuff. It was okay for it to be a one-step changer, and so I got him instead of Drift or Optimus or whatever. I've got to say, yes, he's grown on me a little bit. He's not that bad, and I can actually say now that I wouldn't mind getting all the rest of the one-step changes. They're fun little things. I just wish they didn't cost 10 quid because I don't want to spend 10 quid on any of the rest of them. On to the real goodness that Age of Extinction has provided to me so far. Here's my very latest figure. It's Slug. Oh, he's good. Oh, yes, he's good. This is how you do a mental movie-style dinosaur. Oh, I love it. Look at his face. He means business. He's mean. He will kill you in ways you can't possibly imagine because he is some sort of incredibly brutal, insane dinosaur robot thing, and I love it. It's his face. It's his face, man. The whole gnashy, raw teeth and all the horns and just the sort of spiky jaggediness of the design of his face. It just feels right for a robot dinosaur. It reminds me a bit of the sort of Digimon-esque, really pointy looking, are they robots? I can't quite tell, dinosaur look that they had. Yeah, that's sort of pressing a little bit of a nostalgia button in me there. So, yeah, Slug is just, oh, he's good. He's just a lovely, chunky, fat Triceratops that will bulldoze an entire city block. And he's all spiky and shiny and good. I don't care that this cost 15 quid because it feels like it was worth it. And let's face it, we've all been paying at least that much for decent deluxe figures online for the past couple of years, haven't we? So while it does irk me that there's a whole price increase on these, I can live with it. But yeah, I haven't actually been able to get to Toys R Us still yet. This guy was middleman to me from the very kind of Al of Cybertron, who seems to have become like one of the biggest contributors of news, but he's like the top dog of the UK sightings forum, and he's just a nice guy. He originally offered to middleman me an evasion mode Optimus if he found one when he went to Toys R Us at the beginning of the week. But of course, they still haven't shown up anywhere, and he got me Slug instead, and I'm very happy, very, very happy indeed with this, because this is exactly what I wanted out of Age of Extinction. An insane, shiny, jagged dinosaur. Just a bit annoying that you can't do anything with his sort of shish kebab swords here. Yeah, you can stick them on the sides of him, so you can sort of have him, I don't know, run along, and it has a sort of jousting effect, which is good for his night theme, I guess, but it's just silly, and they don't stay in there very well either. They just sort of like to fall out, and that's not good weapon storage. If I want to transport this guy anywhere, I want to be able to put these in a secure place where they won't fall out, but you can't really do that. I guess you could sort of futz them in between his legs and inside his belly, and there is a way of being able to do that, but again, they don't really stay there. So they're decent swords, but they need somewhere better to go. They could also do with someone to go in his robot mode as well, because you just have to put them in his hands, and I'd like somewhere for them to go on his back or something like that, because he has got good, nice, round, big, pull up your dukes kind of punchy boxing fists for a kind of berserker warrior like he is. So I don't know. Robot mode though, ooh, I do like it. The whole night theme, I end up, I think, liking it a hell of a lot more than I thought I was going to. I mean, yeah, watching reviews, looking at pictures, I thought, oh, that's cool, it looked like knights. Once you actually got it in your hands, it's like, I've actually got a Transformer that looks like a knight. It feels so good. It adds so much character to the thing, and it's just like, I need all of the Dinobots now. Have all this selection of chivalrous robots that turn into completely insane, destructive dinosaurs. Yes, please. But yeah, there's Slug. I really like him. I could have got Scorn, but I like this dinosaur mode better than Scorn's. It's just a more iconic dinosaur, really, isn't it? A Triceratops rather than a Spinosaurus. It looks more of a wrecking machine, and that's what I wanted in a movie Dinobot, and that's exactly what this has given me. And it's got the bonus of it being metallic purple. Oh, it's so nice. And then it's a really nicely posable robot that just looks really cool the way it's designed, and I've got to stop talking, because this is like the best figure I've had in ages, and it's certainly a very nice way to start the proper lot of Age of Extinction figures in my collection. And yes, go buy Slug, go buy him. You need a shiny purple robot Triceratops on your shelf, or somewhere in your hands. Just, I don't want to ever put it down, it's too good. So there we go, that's what the month of May has brought to me, in a nice swath of differing levels of goodness. But yeah, it's all just pretty much topped off by Slug, who is just so good, and that just makes me want so many more Age of Extinction figures now, even though I can sort of feel like they won't be as good as this, because they won't be made out of metallic purple. There you have it, that's me lot for now. Toodaloo, and I don't know when I'll see you next, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to afford any more figures or be able to acquire some more Age of Extinction things. I'm turning a little bit into Basil Rathbone. I think it's time to turn off the camera. Goodbye.